realtors, and based on what they see on the internet, they say that real estate is one of the most rewarding careers and one of the easiest ones to get in. And it is true. It can be. But then I also show them the other statistics that they didn't look up, is that 87.6% of people that get into industry will be out of it within the next 2 years. And so the next question that I follow up with is, okay, well, money obviously is a motivation, and I think that's why we all work, and that's why we all start businesses, because obviously money is involved, right? And we live in a society, in a country that's capitalism. Obviously there's money that moves a lot of industries here, which is, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying money's there. So I understand why they're getting into this industry, but the mindset that I want them to come in here is going back to what I was telling you, is taking this seriously, where they understand that they have a responsibility and a duty for our clients, that it's not just a sale, it's not just another check, that by getting your real estate license, you're really wanting to help people and try to do it the best you can. That way they have a great experience, because I mentioned it before, real estate has gotten a bad reputation where they think we're just greedy salespeople. And I want to change that. And that's who I want on my team. I want those people in my firm that want to change the stigmatized or the tainted reputation of realtors. And by getting certain people that I can see that, they say, no, I really want to. Maybe I hear they had a bad experience themselves with realtors. And that's one of the things that I notice, is some of the people that we hire is because they had bad experiences with realtors, and they said they didn't want somebody else to have that experience. And those are the characteristics that I look for, and you see a lot of people coming in and they say, well, I just want to make over $100,000, $200,000. And this is the only industry that I could see I can make that money. And you can tell when people are just wanting, and there's not an issue with them having high ambitions, but it's how you're going to get there. When I was 17 and 18, I worked as a server at a restaurant, and I never wanted to because I was really shy. And I remember one of the managers was telling me, hey, go in there and you just got to talk to people, get their order, treat them right, and that's it, And I, at the time, was saying, well, the only reason why I would think about becoming a server is because I would make more money. And when he sat me down, and I still remember it, is like, look, yeah, it's true. You can make more money, or you can make less money depending on what your service is. The key is treating your tables with respect, with honesty. If you mess up, tell them, hey, I'm sorry, I messed up your order. This is my fault. If you give them the respect and the honesty, the money's going to come. Like you were, and one of the things they said is just a byproduct, is you treat people with respect and honesty, and the money will come. And that's something that I always carried with me as I grew into this career, is you treat people with respect, you do your honest work, and you're going to be successful. Now, it's not that simple, but really that's kind of what I learned. There's little things that you do in between each step. You learn, you become disciplined. With being self-employed, it's easy to wake up one morning and say, I don't want to go to or you know what, I'm really comfortable with how much money I'm making. I don't want to do anything else. And so it just depends on why. Now my why changed as I grew up. I got married. I have a son. So my whys are different from when I was 20 to compared to today. Now I want to be successful for my family. And so before I wanted to be successful for my parents. And so there's different things as you grow up. You start changing your mindset, but you start, those experiences change them, and it could be for good, it could be for better. But that's the mindset that I want. I like to hear their why. I like to hear kind of what their goals are, their ambitions. And then the final part would be is if they were to join our firm, if we were to accept them, what expectations they have from us as the firm. Not just about them. It's not just about me asking about them. I want to hear from them on what we can do for them. And then based on what I hear, sometimes I say, look, most of it is training. They want to train, and I love that. You know, if they say that, hey, I'm looking for somebody to treat me right, I need a mentor or something like that, then I tell them, okay, we offer that. I sit down with you 3 times a week, and I go over all the contracts, and we role play. And even though once we get done training, I'm always here as a support. We have people in the company that can set you up with leads, can do all this. But there's other people that say, look, I just want to make a ton of money, and I just need you to leave me alone, and I got the rest. And so those are the people that we really don't want at our firm. There's other firms out there that will take you, but that's kind of what I look for.
Okay. You mentioned out earlier that when you started, you had a lot of rejection. People tell you a lot multiple times. So why did you keep going, and how did you overcome being rejected? Because it's something that a lot of us, at least in the past, I struggled with that too, being rejected, people telling me no. But now I'm comfortable with it. But you, as a
Mm-hmm.
real estate, going door to door, they're telling you no, we don't want your service, get out of my way, and you still going.
Mm-hmm.
And not how did you overcome that, and why did you keep going despite of being rejected so many times?
So I think the biggest thing that kind of helped me was being in the mindset that we're in sales. That helps me is you are there and you know your value. So not everybody's going to need you. So of course you're going to get rejected. And there's people that will reject you nicely, and there's people that will be really rude. I remember when I was door knocking, when I first started door knocking, as soon as I stepped on the driveway, they would yell at me and say, "Get off," you know, and I'm not going to be denying it. Maybe it had something to do with the skin color that I have. You know, we live in Arkansas, and there's still a lot of racism here. And that's also another thing that I had to mentally overcome is, you know, I am who I am. I'm Hispanic, and some people may not like that. But I won't know until I actually offer my services. And I'm not going to make it a big deal, but I also have the luxury to choose who I want to work with, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to give you a service, I want to do it for somebody that I know will value it and also wants it. If they don't want it, then that's fine. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I end up looking bad because, you know, they just didn't want to work with me from the very beginning. So the rejection mentally, the broker that I worked with at the very beginning of my career told me that there was going to be, for every no that you get, you're going to get closer to a yes. And that's kind of what I always said. Every time somebody told me no, I'm like, okay, I'm closer to the yes. All right, let me go find where I can find it. And maybe it was not here, maybe it's not the next house, maybe it's not the next house. And then out of nowhere, it could be 2 weeks later of me door knocking, I found the yes. And that yes meant a lot more than those little no's. And you kind of almost feel numb to the no's, you know? And sometimes I also learned as I grew into my career, a no doesn't really mean no. It could mean not right now. And so as I learned all these experiences, is just because they say no doesn't mean I'm going to give up. Sometimes I cold call. Sometimes I say, hey, you know, I noticed you were looking on our website, and I just was wondering if I can help you in any way. No, I'm just looking. Thank you. Well, I just respectfully say, okay, well, no worries. You know, if you have any other questions, or if you do end up wanting to look for a house, sell, buy, let me know. But I don't just leave it up to them. You try to be more proactive. You set up a reminder, maybe in a week and a half, 2 weeks. Something where you give them their space, but you also don't forget about them. And just work it. There's a statistics, there's a study where it takes around 7 to 9 touches, what we call touches or contacts, for a person to actually trust you, because really at the end of the day, people do business with people who they trust. And if I have the expectation for somebody to do business with me when they just met me because I knocked on their door, that's really silly of me to believe that. And I'm going to get into a mindset where I shouldn't do this because everybody says no. Understand, I have to build rapport. I have to build that respect. So whether it be I select a specific area where I want to farm and focus, and week by week, slowly, they might get to learn that, wow, you know, maybe he is here to stay. There's so many agents that say, okay, I'm going to go door knock. and they do it one time, they get rejected, and they never do it again. But I've been rejected in the same neighborhood for months. But once I get one person to list with me, it all makes it worthwhile. And then I start getting that credibility. And slowly they start opening up. So it takes time. It's not something where we can just see from one day to another. But the rejection part of it, like you,